G'day punters, welcome to the deep dive powered by puntingform.com.au and Mailbag Bloodstock. Maybe about to buy a horse, we don't know, we'll find out today or tomorrow. Peter, Pistol, my man, how are you?
Exhausted after the schmozzle that was Pinjarra. I think it's the second regional meeting I've been to since I've been back. The other was at Northern for Northern Cup Day, and both days the internet has basically failed with having, maybe 1,000 people on course. So props to the NBN, props to Telstra, just handling things beautifully in the regional and provincial centres around the country. Fucking useless. Unbelievable.
Who's responsible for supplying internet?
It'd start with the ground level infrastructure, surely, and then obviously whoever's siphoning off the top. But as soon as you get too many people in one area trying to bet at once, no good. Unreal. So yeah, I basically had the ability to bet in about 3 of 10 races, and half the time I'm sending out the mounting yard mail, no ability to see what the prices are. So it's like impossible to send bets, and you're just going, I don't even know if this is going through to anyone.
Was Tinder working?
Tinder, please. No,
You've moved on.
Moved on. Get off the sauce. Actually, have you seen the Tinder Swindler on Netflix?
No.
It's good. It's pretty good. It's it's one of those stranger than fiction true crime stories about some dude from Israel who was basically swindling all these women out of millions of cash. Yeah.
Really?
It's a good watch. It's a good watch, but watch it with if you've got someone that you're close to and you want to sort of just keep them on a little bit of a leash. Little bit of advice for those at home. You want to just keep them under wraps. Make sure you show them this film because they'll never go on Tinder again.
What's it called again? Netflix?
The Tinder Swindler.
The Tinder Swindler. That might be your new nickname too. Yeah, we're going to deep dive the data from Caulfield thanks to puntingform.com.au. They have all benchmarks and have class benchmarks. We're going to focus on the all benchmarks as a rule, but you can use the class benchmarks to figure out if that was a good performance versus that great a race. Correct?
That's exactly right. Sugar Shane would be proud of that explanation there.
Sugar, my man, your man. Yeah, man. Melbourne Storm, believe it or not, Peter, 11.7 above the all average, or below the fast, 11.7 fast.
Yep.
Amazing figure, really, for that sort of horse, that sort of race. That's the biggest figure of the day. The Garden just behind it in second in that race, and then Rose Quartz out of the same race. They're the 3 biggest figures of the day. Then Miss 500, the stayer, Desert Icon, the sort of half stayer, and then Takisakod, the big roughie, who settled on speed. I got to admit, when I was watching the meeting and the style of racing, in my mind, I thought this is going to be a pretty good meeting as a form reference. And the numbers come through, and I don't think it's nearly as strong as I anticipated. I do think that there was a heavy on-pace bias there on Saturday. We saw Miss 500 and then what looks like to be a pretty good horse, Worthily Swoop. But they were the only two, and they were pretty much staying races, which I think's outside the pattern as a rule anyway. But nothing's run big time of the horses you'd want to sort of follow moving forward. We've just seen sort of spike performances from horses like Melbourne Storm. If Melbourne Storm improves off the 11.7 next start, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, and obviously the Garden was the horse that was under the support there, and it's just sort of flattened out a little bit over the last 200 more than anything. Not a great tempo up front, it must be said. Relatively slow for the class there, but if I
some staggering tempos, Peter, like completely staggering. We saw Generation, who was 270 into $1.80. God bless us, full credit us. They walked.
Yeah,
completely walked. The 2-year-old race walked. Race 1 was a disgrace to tempo.
Oh, it was
tempo
a complete
was
disgrace
offended.
watching it.
It's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Utterly amazing. So if you look at race 1, do you want to read out the numbers so I don't stuff this up?
For the overall class figure, so for this grade of race, they've gone 18.9 lengths slow to the 600, which I'm not even sure that's a barrier trial. This is effectively a 250 metre race by the looks. And even then...
And full credit to the winner who got headed and then still almost got headed. I was shitting myself in run. I was on the winner and I thought Willow went way too slow. Obviously he went slow, but to let him catch him before he sort of went.
Yeah,
It couldn't have had more energy. The battery was on full.
I must say, even given how slow they went, the overall figures and splits they've recorded in the last 600, 400, 200, pretty ordinary.
I think it's a pooey race. You need to
Yeah.
be really, really careful. It was an 18.1 to the all average benchmark to the 600. Like that's
Scheisenhausen.
you might not see that again. Like for the rest of the month of February,
Yeah.
anywhere in Victoria.
Anything the stewards report?
I didn't put myself through that. Oh well, do it yourself at home.
I'm looking at it now. There's
There'll
nothing.
be nothing in it because it was Willow. If it had to be an apprentice, probably copped a month.
Manouche raced greenly under pressure in the straight near the 100 metres, became unbalanced after shifting towards the rail. That's it.
Time travel.
Exactly. Race 2, do you take anything out of it, given the winner has pulled up lame post-race?
I think that the winners. There's two points to make here. I think the winner's really good, pretty good. But I would want to be against it next start because everyone thinks it's really good and it's going to go way shorter than fair. And surely it's a little bit of a risk. I say we won't see it for a little bit anyway. But I like the ride. I love the call. Terry Bailey, full credit to you, Terry.
It was a great call.
Travels deluxe.
Yeah.
Nailed the photo. Horses around it are sort of numbers, so it does need to keep improving, but it looked like it could and would.
Yep. Race 3, almost just the inverse of race 1. Obviously, the distance was different, but they've gone 11.2 lengths fast to the 600, and you could basically see that as the leader, which was it Swelter Magic was the leader?
Yeah, who stopped like shot.
Yeah, at the 700.
And that 11.2 was a class benchmark figure, so they've gone 13.4 for the all average. That's way too quick. Forgive the horses that stopped. This race suits horses that want to go even further than 2,400 metres. So, just another staying race. Now this Sebenak.
Yeah, did we see the Blue Diamond winner, Jack Dickens?
I think it's as good as anything we've seen.
Okay.
But either this is a really weak year, or we're yet to see a proper horse. Because if we see something come out in the next little bit, I think with proper ability, it'll kill these horses. Like Animo was running 8.8s when it was beaten in the Blue Diamond before the Blue Diamond. Extreme Choice had run an 11.9 before they got to the Blue Diamond. Tagaloa 6.4, written by a 7.8.
That's a real good indicator, that.
This horse has run a 2.9, which is really nice performance. Probably had a length up its sleeve if it got out sooner.
Yep.
And also has good upside, is in a really, really sound yard to improve. But still got a fair way to go to get to like a 10.
Yeah, definitely.
So if there's a horse hiding in a stable somewhere that's capable of running like an 8, I'd be with it.
I guess the other thing...
I don't know if there is though, Pete.
No, it's a real unknown going in towards these features, isn't it? Given it's, $7, second favourite for the Blue Diamond at this stage, and we've got, 3 weeks to go. There's not a lot of time. From my point of view, and again, I haven't been across a lot of the Victorian all benchmark figures for the 2-year-olds, but there's been 2 horses in WA that have a better figure than that.
Yeah, I think that's. I think they're just a weak bunch, and
yeah.
But it might be a weak year, So Sebenak, I'd certainly have Sebenak in front of Jacquinot. Jacquinot ran a plus 2.5, so that's bad. But at 1, and it's 1 from 1. So if I owned it, I'd be really, really happy. And good luck to you. It's done nothing wrong. I want to see it run a number before I stamp it favourite in the Blue Diamond. I'd have Sebenak in front of it at the moment. But like I said, I think something could jump out of the ground and go bang bang and knock these things over pretty easily.
Looking for those horses with all the X factor upside, all that sort of thing.
Artorias had only run a 1.9 before it won the Blue Diamond, and it improved sort of 8-9 lengths into that race, which they genuinely will improve their benchmark figure. Some of Extreme Choice is just a beast.
Yep.
But they're going to go a lot quicker, you'd think, in a Blue Diamond than they have previously, which sets them up to run a big number. But still, when you're looking at Animo 8.8, Extreme Choice 11.9, Tagaloa 6.4, Written by 7.8, they've sort of shown they can handle it and they want it.
Also makes that speed map really intriguing. If you've only got horses that have run, say, a 2 or 3 up front and they're dictating the pace, well, you're suddenly looking at all these horses in the back in the field with the ability, or that you think will appreciate the extra tempo, because obviously those front runners, probably more than likely on what they've shown, won't like it.
Yeah, like Sebenak to Coffin in the Blue Diamond's going to be going 6 lengths faster, and maybe then it's off a bit before the corner.
Yeah. You did talk about race 5 briefly, Generation, very slow. That's
very slow for the class to the 600. Very slow for it. Full credit, John McNeil. I think he rode it. Yeah, great ride.
Was it?
That's as well.
He's probably lucky that Zethus and Lena's Legend were trying to chase it down. I think if there was something else that had a bit more sort of toe, or, classic turn of foot, as we would say from a data perspective, able of, running a split that's bigger than a 3, it might have been a little bit of danger there. But
yes, but I do think there's a fair bit of merit to the run.
Yeah,
because the ride wasn't ideal. I think this is a really big performance of this horse. It's the slowest it's gone to the 600 by a mile outside of its first preparation, where it was against slower horses. I think Generation's in for a nice preparation. I'll be interested to see where they go with it, but it's run a Group 2 figure, almost Group 1 figure once in its life at Moonee Valley, over 1,200 metres. I'd be interested to see what they do with it. It does need to improve, but it's run the fastest last 200 metres of this race.
Yep.
So, but was it beating much?
That was on Cox Plate Day from memory, wasn't it?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yep. Okay.
J-Mac, Scissor Step.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we backed it. Yep. Yeah, I remember this.
Okay. Race 6 was won by Tikisakod. Again, another horse that was up there on the speed. Even tempo this time. Pretty much bang on.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with this. Look, this is a PB for this horse by 6 lengths. Pretty sick. I mean, if you're backed Under My Spell, it's just run to what it's sort of capable of, and you've got knocked off by a horse that's improved out of the ground. That'd be pretty sick. There's some horses here that you can trust, I think, like Under My Spell and particularly Vespertine. I think Vespertine
stands out.
Was a really nice performance versus the race. It's put together a number of consistent figures. I think it's a trustworthy horse you can back next start and the start after. I'd love to see it to a different track where it's maybe going to be a little bit more suited. I think Vespertine's a horse to follow with a bit of confidence from the meeting, Peter.
Yep. Yeah, the data certainly stands out there. Race 7 on the card was, again, one of those middle distance races, and Desert Icon for Uncle Chris and Damien Thornton off a slow tempo, pretty dominant there in the end. But what did the data say?
Well, the eye said Linda got a little bit lost back there on Goizo, and it's absolutely flying. 10th fastest, 6 to the 4 of the race, fastest last 200 metres. Grew wings, but couldn't actually get the wings out to start flapping because it was just had nowhere to go. It's flying, but Jesus, if you can catch Goizo, you can come and work with us. You're better than me. Wallace Stayer, hard to catch, hard to beat. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I'd just go to the next race, so to speak. Next time they all meet up, and then see if they sort of line up well again.
So interesting horse out of the race for me is this Dudu's Dart.
Yeah.
It hasn't won a race since it got to Australia, and it was absolutely off the map on debut at Flemington off the trials. I backed it too.
Dunny was on, wasn't he? I reckon
we were knocked off by a Prushka horse. I can't remember.
It was called Rupture. Beat Hangman.
Was it Prushka? A Piston, whatever it was.
Yes, it was.
God, that's sickening. I can't remember all this important stuff in my life, and then I can remember that.
Hasn't raced
anyway,
since.
I just wonder what they're going to do with it. Surely it goes online sale soon.
Is that the horse you're talking about potentially buying?
Oh, to do start. I don't know. Like the name. Bit of market support. I don't know.
Wonderful.
It's just interesting, isn't it? Like it's run fourth to Probabeel, fourth to Colding. Got gapped by Desert Icon.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a sport. What a game. Anyway.
Wonderful. We did touch on the race won by Melbourne Storm earlier, but
Don't trust the race at all, do you?
well, I mean, I'm just looking at Zorro's Dream's last splits. Obviously, got way too far back. This was first up. Wasn't any market support for it. I know this is one of our horses that we kind of love with a little bit of affection and then also hate at the same time.
I'm happy to. Well, now that we're a two-horse syndicator, we probably shouldn't say we hate them, but I don't hate this horse. I do hate one horse, and it's called Diasonic, who knocked us off on debut when we steamed this thing at Cranbourne, you and I, on a Sunday.
It was good fun. Character building. Anyway, the splits for Zorro's Dream going home are basically as good as you could expect for a horse that has resumed first up or after a bit of a spell there. So it's returned in good order.
To be fair though, like I think you can put this horse in your black book for sure. But if you get out your punting form, like it's almost always, if it's not running the third fast the last 200 metres in the race, something's gone wrong.
Yeah,
it almost always does. Like first, third, second, first, fourth. Ooh.
I'd want to see the right race with the right map. Put it that way.
I think the right race for this horse is Flemington down the straight.
I agree.
Zorro's Dream is a bet when it heads to Flemington down the straight. Mitchell, if you're watching.
And the last race was won by Nicolini Vito, which I must say I didn't actually watch this race. I actually walked out by then and started watching a horror film because they had a good day. I thought, I'm not getting involved in this last race.
This horse is flying. Full credit to Ben and JD Hayes. They are doing a really good job.
Yep.
I reckon they were under a bit of pressure when they went out on their own, and they've done fantastic. So full credit to you guys. Not that you'd even know who we are or ever watch our show, but if you ever did, full credit to you.
But again, wasn't much of a figure though overall. Didn't improve on what it's done the last two starts at either Flemington or Sandown, but just really had to do what it had to do to win. So I'm not sure what that says about the rest of the horses in the field.
I think they're a bunch of yo-yos, but I think this horse is starting to put a little bit of a, something out there.
Yep.
What'd you make of New Choice?
Just looking at the data, not for me.
Like a complete yo-yo, this thing. I can't figure this horse out.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen enough so far. It's obviously had the let up and run 5th and 6th, but hasn't really done anything so far this preparation to really get me too excited, put it that way.
Overall, Peter, I thought the second horse in this race, 3 and 4 pence, was the one to follow from this race if you want to follow one. It's put together 3 of its last 5 performances, which are pretty consistent, which I like. It was good versus the shape here, I thought. Fastest last 4 to the 200 home in this race. I think It Worthily versus Vespertine and Zorro's Dream are the 4 horses you can follow with a little bit of confidence out of the meeting. I think Generation's Flying and Sebenak probably deserves to be favourite in front of Jacquinot at this stage for the Blue Diamond.
Like it. You know what this week is?
I actually have no idea.
Well, let me just slowly build it up to you. Stony Creek Tuesday. No, that was last week. Let me get this right. Ballarat Tuesday.
Which it looks very limited. I've done it myself.
Hillside Wednesday.
Glorious. Can't wait to tack that in about 20 minutes.
Kilmore Pakenham Thursday.
Oh, gross.
Colac and the Valley Friday night.
Good. It's good to have a shit meeting into the Valley so you don't get distracted by it. Perfect.
You've got Yarra Valley Saturday as the support meeting, but the CF4, the Group 1 racing, is back at Caulfield.
And I think I've had a tiny bet on Sinoan. We talked about that last week, I think. Is it still in the CF4?
Should be.
Let's hope so. That's our pick at this point in time for the CF4.
It looks like the markets have gone down. Must be doing all the barriers and stuff. And then round out the week with whatever that place is, Werribee and Sale.
Sale's glorious on a Sunday. We win at Sale on Sundays. And shout out, it's me as well, but Jackson did a lot of the work last week. As you'd understand, I was at the Sales and
Great
working
week.
around. And we were 30.9 units out for 56.81 back. We're 20 plus units in front for February already. We're back level after losing in January already. The mailbag.com.au if you want to come bet me and Jacko and the boys all around our country. Our great country, Peter.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else?
All-Star Mile, the elephant.
Oh, make sure you get around it and vote. If you're based in Victoria and you've voted for the elephant, we will be having a function, possibly even more than a function, for the All-Star Mile and Golden Slipper Day at a pub in Melbourne.
Yes, indeed.
Tickets will be limited. I don't know if we'll fill it. Maybe no one will come, Peter, but if everyone wanted to come, you have to get in quick.
I mean, I went through a little bit of quick data for Elephant. He started shorter than Superstorm, who was enormous with a perfect ride from Ollie to knock him off in the fan at the Valley.
Mm.
And then was beaten as second favourite to I'm Thunderstruck in the Turek Handicap.
But has that tactical speed that I'm Thunderstruck doesn't have, and we'll have D Lane, who's as good as anyone in Victoria, sitting on him. So, look, I think we're a big chance. I really like the horse. I think it's sort of lightly raced older horse, so it's maybe got a little bit more to come. About to do actually a bit of deep diving myself for the boys to write a little bit of an article about Elephant, just sort of lining up where it's at versus other horses traditionally for the All-Star Mile in its illustrious 3-year career, or whatever it is. Is it 3 years old?
It's 5, but
is it really?
Yeah, 5-year-old gelding by shocking.
No, I meant the All-Star Mile.
4 years. I think this is
Mystic
the 4th
Journey,
edition.
the Bob Peters horse,
and Regal Power,
and Megatu.
Yeah,
Isn't that, so it's 3 years old. What?
When you said, I'm pretty sure that's not how you say Mugatu, but Megatu was the villain in Zoolander, so I'm just thinking of...
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
My pen get in the way of your ass. Anyway, I'm not sure that film would be cancelled in this day and age, surely.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Anyway, another professional show brought to you by puntingform.com.au and the Mailbag Bloodstock. If you're interested in racing horses with us, email bloodstock@themailbag.com.au and Shane will get back to you as quick as he can. Bye for now.